Every year, the world commemorates the International Olympics Day to celebrate sports and health. Now, the observance is usually to encourage people to participate in the Olympic Games and create awareness about the event and promote the Olympic movement. For this year, the focus is on staying healthy, strong, and active with the Olympic Day workout. Incidentally, this is an Olympic year, with the Tokyo Games just a month away. Nigeria has been a part of the Olympic Games since 1952, so our conversation will focus on how the Olympic Games have impacted the world and Nigeria. What are the positives from participating in these games? These are some of the issues that will occupy our guests on this edition of Nigeria Today. Welcome to the program. I'm Victor Azu. And with me in the studio to discuss Olympic Games and sports development in Nigeria is Chika Chukwumerije. Now, Chika is a three-time Olympian and technical director, Nigeria Taekwondo Federation. It's nice to have you join us.
Thank you. Good to be here.
Also here with us is sports analyst Jacob J.J. Oyekale. Welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me.
Right, let's hit the bull's eye. The Olympic Games is arguably the largest sporting event in the world. What's the story behind it, and why is it necessary to have such an event? Chika.
The Olympics basically is about the peace movement. It's about bringing people together. It's about showing the will of the human race, if you must put it that way. So it's a very important event because every country basically comes there. There's no politics, there's no other talks, just sports brings them together. And it's also a games that you see people work for so many years just to be there. So it's used to inspire a new generation to say you can be what you want to be, you know. So the Olympic means so much more to the world. So it's a very important tool for world peace and for bringing people together.
All right, thank you very much, Chika, for your opening shot. Now, some say it is the dream of every athlete to be at the Olympic Games, with emphasis, of course, on participation rather than winning. Now, Chika, you've been there a fair few times. What exactly does it feel like to participate at an Olympic Games? And is it something extra when you make it to the podium?
Yes, you feel on top of the world. You feel very, very good because there are just very few Olympians in the world. So personally, my personal experience, when I look back on it, I'm very grateful for the experience to represent your country at that stage. Now, when you get to the podium, I remember like in Beijing when I won my medal. At that time, I wanted to win a gold, so I was even sad that why am I going away with a bronze? But you see, when I look back today, you know, I'm very grateful for that medal because, you know, as they say, sometimes the battle is not to the strong, nor the race to the swift, you know. So you find out that there are other people that also put in as much effort as you did.
Time and chance.
Went out with nothing, you know. So as an Olympian, it's really an honor for me, you know. You bring honor to your family, you bring honor to your country. You find out that wherever you go, people are excited to see you. What you say matters. And of course, these are some of the perks that comes with being an Olympian.
All right, thank you, Chika. Now, JJ, let's put it conversely. Are there possible implications for a country not to be at the Olympics?
Well,
what could it feel like, you know, for athletes, sports fans, analysts like you and other stakeholders?
Well, just the opening shot of Chika that talked about what the Olympic means. In the first place, to start with, after the First World War, there was need to bring everybody together, regardless of your race, your country, your color, anywhere at all. We need to really come together in unity. Now, and the games, you see all the rings interlocking together, representing all the continents of the world. which means that you come and compete if you feel you are the best of the best. And the implication of any athlete not to be there, I believe it is massive. That is because the dream of any or the ambition of any sportsman is to get to the peak of their career. And the peak of the career of any sportsman is to be on the athlete or sportsman, to be on the podium at the Olympics. When you are there and the anthem of your country is being sung and the flag of that country is being hosted aloft, there is no feeling that can be compared to that feeling. So missing out entirely and you are not there to even compete, I think it is massive, and it does a lot to the morale of individual and even a generation.
All right, but let me still stay with you, JJ. Since Nigeria's first participation at the Olympics in 1952, what impact has it had on our sports? Has Nigeria been better for it, or is it simply down to the spirit of the Olympics, which is participation, even though we have weighed in with some laurels and glorious moments?
Yeah, I think the rewards or the dividends cannot be quantified. Yeah, our first participation was in 1952, but we won our first medal in 1963. That was a boxer by name Nojim Mayegun. So that was the first medal we came up with at the Olympics, which was a bronze medal. And after then, Nigeria have really raked in a couple of medals. I remember very well in Los Angeles in 1984, that relay team led by Innocent Egunike, when they finally made the podium, the excitement that that everybody had. But that was just the beginning of another level of Nigerians' participation in Olympics. At Seoul Olympics, we could not really do more. But Barcelona set the pace for what happened at Atlanta, because in Barcelona we have both the male and female relay team ran at the finals. Even the 100 meters final, you have like 2 Nigerians at the final and 2 female at the final. But by the time we get to 1996, which was the peak till today, where we have the largest collection of our medal, winning 2 gold medals, a couple of bronze medal and silver medal, it has been massive, and it has really done enough for the country. The only thing is just that at this point in time, we need to really focus on what is the strength of the country and consolidate on it, because over time we have seen that Nigeria has a very strong hold in combat sports, part of which Chika Chukwumerije is one of them, boxing is one of them, wrestling is another one. Then sprint race in athletics, we have a very strong point there. And of course, football. And Nigeria is an emerging force now in basketball, which we can see over time. In years past, we've not been able to win the African tournament. And in the last 3 tournaments, we've been able to qualify both our male and female, which means that we are getting stronger in such event. So all we need to do now is to make sure we expose our athletes to the world-class facilities for them to be able to compete at the highest level. For example, I was at the National Sport Festival that was hosted some few months back, and we saw how our athletes are able to present themselves. And of course, just few days back, we had the open trial in Lagos, where Blessing Okagbare blasted the tape in a new African record time, which is really heartwarming. So if you put all this together, I think there is a lot for Nigeria to really celebrate.
All right.
Just that we have not been able to reap the economic benefits of finishing up in the podium position, because every of these events have the economic benefit it's supposed to bring to the country. Because
thank you, JJ, indeed. But some, well, may disagree with some of the points that you have raised, but we'll get to some of these other issues in the course of the program. So far, Nigeria has won only 25 medals at the Olympic Games and ranks 76th among participating nations. Are we where we ought to be, given the amount of talents in this country? JJ alluded to it earlier. Chika.
No, we are not. 25 medals is not good enough for Nigeria. And they're just, if you put the team sports together, it means we are just 102 Olympic medalists. That's not good enough. Remember that we are over 2 million people. For me, it's a clarion call to say we have what it takes. And over the coming Olympics, starting with this one, we can aim to be a bit more on the medal table. So it's just to realize that, okay, we've consistently participated, and that's really good. So now we need to go to the next step and say, what do we have to do to bring in more medals, than we currently have? And I think when you just accept the fact that 25 is not good enough, then as a country we can agree that we need to work towards making more.
All right, thank you very much indeed. I think you have opened a new chapter which we'll have to talk about as we advance on the program. But you know what? We'll have to take a breather here, only to return shortly to continue this very interesting conversation. Please stay with us. All right, welcome back, and you're right on time if you've just tuned in. We have been discussing Olympic Games and sports development in Nigeria with Chika, Chukwumerije, and Jacob, JJ Oyekale. Now, before now, we used to have household names representing the country at various competitions. The likes of Mary Onyali, Falilatu Gunkoya, Chioma Ajunwa, Chika, Chukwumerije here, and a host of others readily come to mind. Today, you have a Blessing Okagbari who has been dominating the tracks for over a decade without real competition. Why is there seemingly a dearth of athletes capable of winning laurels across the continent? What is happening to sports development in Nigeria? Chika.
I think there's a disconnect, and let me give let me illustrate. For me, there are 7 key things to having a good sports system. One is the welfare. How would they eat? Where do they stay? School fees, things like that. 2 is the training support. Training support is all the people needed to make an athlete an elite athlete. So the coach, the medical, the trainer, physiotherapist, nutritionist, and things like that. 3 are the facilities. Do they have good facilities? World-class facilities to train with, and kits. 4 is the exposure. Do they have competitions? Do they have training camps at local, national, and international levels? 5 is recognition. When they do well, do we recognize them to say you're doing well? Do we give them awards and things like that? 6 is the post-career guidance. The ones that have become elite athletes, how do we convert them You have tales of people who have represented the country, but now I saw someone, a boxer or something, he was fixing the road or something in Lagos. And I asked myself, why can't we convert this talent into the various roles that sports industry needs, whether it's sports media or trainers or coaches and all that. And the last, of course, is sustainability, to make sure there's a loop in this. If we don't get this at the national level and the state level, it's going to be hard. And here comes the problem. It requires a lot of funding and it requires a lot of knowledge. So the process. So I'll give you an example with Taekwondo Federation. We have a lot of knowledge, but the state associations are not strong enough. So they have the passion to do, but do they have the knowledge, the administrative knowledge to, to develop all these 7 pillars I've listed? So it's going to take really to bring together this plan and commitment to see it through for 10, 15 years. And what happens is that as the leadership changes, since there's a quick changeover of leadership over time, we find out that when a new leadership comes, there's no continuity. So we're just like in a merry-go-round, and unfortunately, that's why we're having the results we're having today.
All right. Now, JJ, I would like you to take a shot at this same question. Meanwhile, I've been wondering why Nigeria can't cut it when it comes to swimming. Swimming, offers a lot of medals. Why Nigeria can't cut it with these are riverine brothers and sisters here and there?
Well, just a rider to what Chika have said. Nigeria is blessed not only with natural resources, but also with human resources. But our problem is, one, how to harness them. How do you get them from the grassroots? Just a couple of years back, we were on top of the world, and suddenly we started taking steps back, and you realize that because of deficiency in the structures in our sports, you see athletes of Nigerian descent making podium finish for other countries they adopted, which means that we are not short of talent, but rather how do we, one, identify them, nurture them, and try to continue with them. For example, we have the National Institute of Sports. If it is well managed and the scope is broadened, then you have a conveyor belt for our athletes, where when they are discovered, how they move on, and those that want to become coaches and all the stuff, that is where you discover them. And even the elite athlete will not become liability, because if they are retiring, they have where to go to get refresher course and learn additional trade to what they used to know. Again, looking at it, we are a country of over 200 million people, and the country is diverse in our unity, meaning that if you look at states like Bayelsa, Delta, Lagos, River states, they are close to the waters, and there are children or boys there and girls there that can stay 5 hours inside the water, meaning that all they lack is the techniques to get to the podium. If you look at the southeast and southwest, for example, you have agile and strong, physical, well-built looking individuals that can really make it in martial and contact sports like boxing, taekwondo, karate, wrestling, and a host of others. And if you look at the hilly areas of Jos, Adamawa, and Taraba, there you can harness athletes that can do the long distance. If well trained and exposed to the right facility, you can get them there. Same goes to football. In those days, you find very good and talented footballers all across the country. The only thing is, how do you harness them, get them when it is right? I would want to thank the Minister of Youth and Sports for the revival he has given to Principals Cup that has been expanded now, that has about 5 sports, and there is a prospect of expanding it, meaning that from primary school and secondary school, you begin to identify talent. What actually killed our grassroots was that when you go to schools these days, no playground, no football field, they are not exposed. In fact,
which
these
is a
days,
problem actually that begins with the approvals given and all of that. Government plays a major role indeed in setting up those. When we went to school, we used to have fields, big fields, but today they build up everywhere. And it's all about, commerce, what is going to come out of it. But that said, meanwhile, Nigeria's inability to sweep medals at the Olympic Games has often been attributed to the number of games our athletes participate in. So why can't Nigeria participate in more games, Chika?
I guess you have to look at the individual federations and how they prepare. When you look at these games, you find out that the federations that have qualified athletes were better prepared, maybe the leadership for a long time has been putting in a lot of effort. JJ was talking about basketball, for instance. You can see athletics, you can see even taekwondo. We know the effort we made to get it done. So perhaps, of course, leadership plays a big role. If each federation can do what it needs to do, then you find out that we can present athletes in all the 20 or 23 events that will take place, Okay. But we're going with 10, I think 9 or 10
all right,
to the Olympics, and it's quite diverse. You've got gymnastics qualifying for the first time. Judo has not qualified in a while. I think they qualified. You've got, look at the athletics. Cabaret is very experienced, but you've got very young people like Ophili in the mix.
Okay.
Look at wrestling.
We are running out of time. But
so basically, I think for this Tokyo, we qualified quite a good variety. And then my answer to your question is the federations should be supported more so that between now and Paris Olympics, they can do what it takes to qualify people into more Olympic sporting events.
All right. Now, one problem we have, JJ, is that Nigeria loses most of its athletes to other countries where they have better training facilities and other benefits. So what can be done in as short a time as possible, JJ, to ensure that the best will choose Nigeria over every other consideration?
I think the first thing is, one, we need to really develop our facility, up our facility, make them world class. And secondly, we need to begin to separate when you make sports merely entertainment and make it a big business it is all over the world. So when you give it commercial value, then it will attract people from all walks of life, all over the world, to come and represent Nigeria.
All right, thank you very much indeed, JJ. And Chika, consider this your closing thoughts as well. Tokyo Olympics is going to be, Olympics like none before it because of the pandemic. What, is it going to look like, and how much dent has the pandemic put on it? It's been off and on. Will it be? Will it not be? Now that it's going to, go ahead anyway, will it be? How is it going to turn out for those who are participating, especially because fans aren't going to be there anyway?
I mean, it tells the can-do spirit of the Olympics that despite the pandemic, despite the challenges, that we can do this. So I think it will still be a good event. The athletes have trained very hard for it. And of course, I wish all the athletes all the very best.
Okay. All right, we have to leave it here. I'm afraid time is never our friend when we talk, we have conversations like this, particularly sports. That's been Nigeria Today, and I have been discussing Olympic Games and sports development in Nigeria with Chika Chukwumerije, three-time Olympian and technical director, Nigeria Taekwondo Federation. Thank you for your time and expertise.
My pleasure.
Now, friend of the house, Jacob J.J. Oyekale, sports analyst. Always a delight to have you around.
Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
And now Nigeria Today is live every weekday at 7:30 in the evening, and you can watch this and other editions on www.youtube.com/NTA News 24 Hall. My name is Victor Azo. Thanks for your company, and see you next time.